Alrighty, folks, we know for a long time that crypto is a very hot topic. What did you not know is you can get Bitcoin or crypto-based mortgages. Yes, you can get a loan based on your crypto holdings. Matt, I understand you just did a big loan, 8 million bucks or so, I think was the purchase price, and the person just used his Bitcoin holdings as the income. So we got to break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's educate the folks on what is possible.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because for a long time people have heard, Fannie and Freddie are finally coming around to, you've got crypto holdings and you liquidate that. And, before it's like, if it came from that world, we don't even want it as part of our transaction.
Yeah.
In this case, we're not necessarily just talking about using money that came from crypto holdings. We're talking about actually using the crypto holdings, doing an asset depletion loan where that's your income. You're saying, I've got this much in crypto. And just for clarity, I didn't write the loan. Tyler Hodgson, good buddy of mine at U Mortgage, wrote it. But I'm in close enough proximity where I got to hear some of the details. And it's pretty cool because, there's got to be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of, these type of crypto investors that hold a lot in crypto. And as I was thinking about it, Mike, and having conversations around this, it kind of reminds me of some of the tech folks that I do business with that you were close to in the Bay Area, where, real estate is a good alternative asset for them because, somebody who works in the Bay and might, get restricted stock units as part of their job, they might have millions upon millions in stocks.
Tens of millions. Yes.
Right. And they think to themselves, you know what? Like, this is great. And I believe in this company and things are fine, but maybe I diversify a little bit. Maybe I want to also hold a piece of real estate that I can actually see, feel, and touch a little bit more than my digital stuff that I own. And so, for these type of crypto investors, like this one who bought, an $8 million home, you take the crypto that you own, he liquidated a little bit compared to his portfolio is $2 million, right? Some people, that's a lot of bit. Paired that with some other liquid cash he had and put 4 million down, but the lender was able to let him borrow 4 million. And instead of doing, here's your W-2 job or here's your self-employed tax return, the income calculation was strictly done on here's how much crypto you hold. We're going to multiply that by 50% because it's volatile. We can all agree with that. And then divide it by 120 months. So there's some continuance to make a payment. And I was talking to the rep about it because in a lot of ways, crypto is more transparent than your Fidelity account.
Oh, for sure.
They were able to see, because 2 million was liquidated, that it went from a cold storage wallet. I don't think me and you or either one of us are crypto experts, but those who know will know what the heck that means. Went from that cold storage wallet to Coinbase, then from Coinbase to Chase account, then from Chase account to the title company. So they know that this person has access. I think they even did some like proof of Satoshi, where if you've ever linked a bank account or done anything with banking, they're like, do a 27, tell us how much we deposited, 27 cents this day and 42 cents that day. And so there's a similar proof of Satoshi to say, you've got control of this account and we see what's in that account. Cause that's the thing about Bitcoin. There's the ledger. People can see what's in there if they know, the specific wallet. They don't know who owns it or any of that stuff. And this sparked this interesting conversation, which I think Tyler put in the article. He was interviewed by Housing Wire and talked about this loan where I would imagine if you're the holder of this note, you're the lender, and you've let someone borrow $4 million, and they've told you, here's my crypto holdings, and that's what we're using as income. If you did that with traditional assets, $2 million or $5 million in a Fidelity investment account, you saw their Q3 of 2025, and after the loan closed, that's all you've got. But in this case, Mike, you can forever go look at that wallet, right?
Right. Yeah. You know what it is.
Could track and say, you know what? They had 5 million when we wrote the loan. They've got 5.5 million today. You know, the conversion to US dollars, what that would be.
Sure.
And, you know, who knows? There's a number of different things that can be, you know, said or maybe written into future loans where you've got to keep the balance at a certain amount, or you've got to do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think about, because whether I like it or not, and my brain can comprehend all of it or not, like, it's the future.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because I know Fannie or Freddie or both earlier this year adopted rules that you could even count crypto as assets on your balance sheet, right? For the longest time, that wasn't even included, right? You couldn't list it or they would ignore it. If you said,
Right.
hey, I have, 200 grand of Bitcoin, it would be like, that doesn't exist, which obviously hurts your asset value and your balance sheet. Now what they're doing is they're actually doing, asset depletion loans based on ownership of crypto. And I'm going to guess, again, this loan and other loans today are going to be very selective on which coins, right? Right. Bitcoin, Ethereum makes total sense to me.
Yeah, and just to be clear too, like, you know, like you said, it's true that Fannie and Freddie are now, you know, allowing that for reserve funds and other stuff. This was a non QM loan. Fannie and Freddie
Oh,
didn't
not involved.
back
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
one, you know, but yeah, they're going to um underwrite it conservatively, just like you would imagine. You know,
Hmm.
lenders lend based on risk. But in this case, it's like you've got a whole bunch, and, you know, if you've got 30% down or 40% down, I think that's probably where those are being written
Oh, for
nowadays. It's
sure.
like 60 to 70% loan to
Well, this
value.
is the start. Well, I think the key here is, first movers, first loans always kind of feel unusual, like you're making it up on the fly, but these will become standardized. It wouldn't shock me if Wall Street sometime this year or maybe by the half of next year that this is a product that they actually start marketing. Because I think you're right. I think there are a lot of crypto bros who, you know, aren't necessarily bankable because all they have is crypto, all right, a disproportionate amount of crypto. And now they are bankable. And these are going to be some of the most conservative loans written, right? 60% of value, they're going to assume half, you're going to, bank half of what the value is. And, I think this is a way for, crypto bros to still leverage. I mean, this is what the wealthy do, right? Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, all these guys, they make $1 a year, but they borrow against their stocks.
Yep.
Now you're essentially allowing crypto bros, who some of them are, 10, 20, $100 million because they got in early and stayed committed. They can start to play. They're bankable, right? Before, where they had to sell and cash out. Now they don't have to. It's an
Yeah.
interesting thing.
And that's the thing that's cool for those specific crypto investors, is the last thing they want to do is liquidate.
Right.
One, they don't want the tax hit.
Yep.
Two, they believe in it and they want to
Yeah.
stay invested
They've
in it.
held this long. They want to hold longer. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, I've built this war chest of $20 million worth of crypto. I want to, you know, use some of that to go buy a $5 million estate.
Yeah.
Right.
I want
Because
to. I want to.
it's
I want to scoop up some of my rewards, but I don't
right.
want to. Dump.
But
Yep.
rather than say you're going to liquidate a fourth of those holdings, you're going to take this huge
Yeah.
tax
It
hit.
would be more than that. It would probably be like 40% because you got to make up for the taxes, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's like, okay, maybe it's just you liquidate 2 million. You know, you
Right.
take the small tax hit, you put the 2 million down, and, you know, you borrow 3 million. And like, I know a lot of people in that space, you tell them we're going to write you a loan at 7.5% interest. Some of the one rental at a time viewers will be like, oh my gosh, 7.5. Crypto folks are like,
Don't care.
charge me 10 as long as I don't
Yeah.
have to liquidate my crypto. I'll pay
Yeah.
you
I'm good.
whatever.
Yeah.
I've returned 79% in the last
Yeah.
12 months on my crypto investment. So
Yeah.
you're fine charging me 7.5.
No, I agree. Again, I really do think this will become a DSCR loan. This one may become an example, and there's going to be some Wall Street folks hungry for this. And it's a very safe package, very conservatively written, and it would not shock me if more and more of these get done. As this success of this one gets written up by Housing Wire. Shout out to the Housing Wire team and Tyler for getting this done. So I love to hear advancements being made and in crypto / Bitcoin going from this thing that's off in the dark that few people talk about to now an asset that really could lead to lending and buying an $8 million home. I can only imagine what that looks like. So good for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Back when I was working in poker rooms in 2011 and 12. I probably should have listened to the crazy wackos that had this idea about Bitcoin.
Yeah, I got a buddy of mine that never forgets to remind me that he told me to buy it at 600. That's a slap in the face, I'll tell you.
Oh,
Matt, if
man.
somebody wanted to talk mortgage and see what's what, how do they reach out to you?
Go to greatmortgagebroker.com. Me and the team are happy to help you. Fill out a quick form. Let us know where you're at and how we can help. We'll be in touch. You can also now go to mtmg.com, which is my website. And there's lots of information. There's a chat bot that I think is pretty good. I'd encourage the One Rental at a Time community to go in there and interact with it, and then feel free to give me feedback. Matt,
Yes.
the chat bot is a piece of crap. Actually, I asked it a couple questions and it gave me some insight on conventional loans or DSCR loans. And then, from there, you can always book a call. And I'm doing my best to make sure that if it's something that I can help with, I'm going to jump on the phone with you. And if it's something like, you're trying to do a loan in New Jersey, I'm going to connect you directly with that New Jersey person, and they're going to show up to that phone call.
Nice, man. I love what you're doing. Greatmortgagebroker.com. It's right there on the screen for you folks. Go get engaged, go ask questions, and see what's what. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Mm-hmm.